Hi, I'm Tash,
And I'm Damo.
and together we are excited to bring you this week's episode of
The Barry Chronicles.
Yay!
This week, I don't know why I'm nervous about this, but
I know,
it's
me
just one of
too.
those topics. So let's talk about sex, baby.
Let's giggle.
Yeah, it reminds me of Year 8 sex ed.
Yeah, it kind of does.
But it's a topic that comes up. It's a topic that comes up a lot. Is sex
It does.
after weight loss surgery.
Yes.
And actually, we'll just start off, I guess, with the one of the questions that so many people ask, and I'm going to give an answer to it. It is still okay to give head jobs after weight loss surgery. There you go. I said it.
You did. You said it. It is honestly one of the most asked questions.
Yeah. And we always giggle when it gets asked because we know what the answers are going to be.
Everyone runs, like on Facebook particularly, in our Facebook group, everyone runs to the comments.
Yeah. We all
Just to
click
read.
follow because we want to follow that thread all the way to the end because there's but then we also get a lot of private messages, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, do we really have to?
We do. We really do have to talk about it because this is a topic. I mean, sex as a fat woman, when I was a fat woman, there's so many taboos around discussing it and talking about it. There are so many attitudes around it. I definitely felt very much like I was expected to be a sexless person when I was big.
And I mean, guess what, world? Fat people like sex too.
Yes, 100%. And I did then. I liked my sex life then. And as a thin person, like it now. And all of the steps in between. But there is weirdness in that.
It changes.
Yeah. Going from the size that I was, I knew how everything worked then, to being in a much smaller body. Holy shit. It is a journey.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's from me, from you, people that are in a married, committed relationship, and you sort of know each other, your partner's body and how it all works. I think it would be different if you were, in the dating scene, a new relationship.
You are all incredibly brave. Like you're incredible. You really are. I find over the years I've found it hard enough to get naked with old mate who I've been with for, nearly 30 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. You don't get that long for murder.
I know, but yes, I'm that old, and it is a long time to be with the same person.
Nearly up for parole.
Yes. No. Joking. No, not really. But yeah. So
I think one of the things that was strange, losing weight and having all this excess skin everywhere.
Yeah.
There were times where it really got in the way, and you could end up getting. I'd end up with Kim's sort of pressure getting put onto a part of my overhanging skin stomach, and it would tear.
Yeah, I had that as well.
And so being aware of that takes time because it's like suddenly there's all these changes and changes in the way your body works.
Yeah. My boobs, like I had a very large chest, and my boobs sort of went from out here to down here.
You've got lovely long breasts.
Yes, I did. I did have lovely long breasts after I lost, 100 kilos. And they felt different as well. So because so much of the fat was gone from them, it was literally just skin sacs. Like we often laugh, like windsock boobies.
Yeah.
And that's definitely how mine were.
One of my sister-in-laws, she describes it as a sock with a tennis ball.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
I think that that's probably a reasonable, apt description for how I was anyway. So I had that change. My muscle separation was so full on that my muscle separation was from right up here underneath my breastbone, right down onto my mons.
So for people that may not understand, can you explain the muscle separation?
Okay, so I've had children, but your stomach muscles just
So they
spread.
literally
They
separate.
spread open.
Does that affect other organs?
Well, it can affect the way that things are positioned in there, definitely. I know when I had my plastics, my very first plastics, my particular surgeons like compression worn in the lead up to the surgery because of the muscle separation, and in my case it being so severe that they wanted my organs to get used to having less room because they were going to be stitching everything back together, so stitching it up tighter. So I wore full-on compression for 6 weeks prior to my plastics.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had this crazy amount of skin, but crazy amount of skin, in my pubic area as well. And everything felt different. Everything moved differently. It was so different and so hard to get used to. So all of that took some time, definitely, to find my groove again.
Yeah, I bet.
And like finding ways to sit your skin, because I had, and I still do have, so much skin. Like my ass and my thighs and my back, I've had nothing done there, so I've still got a lot of skin. But like positioning the skin in such a way that you weren't getting caught on anything, and nothing's tearing, nothing's doing strange.
For some people, it can be like another blanket.
Yeah, well, for me it was. And then there's the whole slappy noises, like really full of noises and all sorts of things. And I used to get so in my head about it and feel like, oh my God, this is just, this is a disaster going somewhere to happen.
Well, I know for me, because I had a fairly good apron overhang, I was really sort of self-conscious about that.
Yeah.
It's so strange. And
I mean, I used to hold my stomach anyway because I was just really self-conscious of it. So I would hold my stomach during sex always. But as I lost weight, I found that I had to nearly even pull my pubic area up a bit because things were because there was so much skin covering everything. It was just felt different. The pressure was different, and it was just uncomfortable at times.
Do you think part of the problem could be that I think so many of us tend to find it difficult to talk about sex, and then if you're not having those sort of conversations with your partner, I think it's important to have a conversation with your partner about how you're feeling about it.
Yeah, if you're in a relationship, I think and you're finding that the sexual dynamics have changed, I think it is really important to bite the bullet, shoot your shot, say what needs to be said, let the other person know how you're feeling. And because I can't even imagine trying to navigate through that quagmire of feelings without talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still have times, very recently, I have times where I get a bit horrified by my skin. I mean, I love my body. I accept it as it is, but there are times where does it really have to be so noisy? Does it really have to be so wrinkly?
Yeah.
And if I allow myself, then I know that my concerns about that definitely affect my ability to be able to enjoy myself.
Yeah. I hear a lot of guys talk about even that they've lost a heap of weight and suddenly it seems like their penis is bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so even that, it all plays an effect on your mind.
Yeah.
And, if you're in the throes of passion and suddenly you start thinking about, like there'd be times where I just start cracking up laughing because, like skin was getting caught or something.
Skin's
and it's like,
moving, everything's moving.
And having your partner understand that, you've got all these things going on can sort of help the mood because, I'd never wanted Kim to think that I was laughing at her or,
But like on the other side, so for those people listening that are not in committed relationships and that are single and out there, experiencing all of the awesomeness that is single life, I can imagine and understand how it would seem really daunting.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of people have messaged me over the years, what would you do if you were in this situation, Tash? And I can't really say, I can't really give advice on that because I haven't been single for a long, long time. But what I can say is that I'm brutally and bluntly honest about my body, about my life and just me as a person. So if I was in a position where I was going to be going out with someone and I thought that we may end up playing fuck games, I would probably be pretty quick to say, hey, there's a skin situation that you need to know about. Just because I know how I am as a person, and I would be feeling anxious and worried about how anybody could cope with the way that my body is, because I understand that I certainly don't look stereotypical underneath my clothes, and that would definitely play into some anxiety and concerns.
Yeah. So sort of having those discussions early on, and I guess you just have to gauge each conversation
And
at its own merits.
Yeah.
Because, I would be, I don't, well, even now I know that I would be very, oh my gosh. I mean, I have an issue called gynecomastia, but it was really hard for me, even just letting Kim see my body.
Yeah.
And like I've never been shirtless, even at a swimming pool. It doesn't happen. The one time I did, I was sort of forced to swim at a swimming carnival at school and, had the entire school laughing at me. So after that, I've never gone shirtless in public since. And, hopefully, I'll be getting surgery for that and getting that dealt with. But, it's very daunting, the whole thought of it. And I think for our own benefit, just getting it out there, addressing the elephant in the room, so to speak, is probably the easiest way. But that also opens us up to be a little bit vulnerable, which can be so difficult.
Yeah, 100%. I can't. Let us know how you go navigating your life post-bariatric surgery as a single person that's dating.
Yeah, and we'd love to do a follow-up interview.
We would absolutely love that, because we can only speak from, our married long-term partner perspective. And like I said, there have been times where even that, it can be incredibly daunting. Even though, Stephen's seen me give birth to children. He's seen all of those things, but still, when it comes to my body and the skin that I have as a result of the weight loss surgery, there are still times where, oh, holy shit, just don't look, just don't, just stop it.
But on to some more general sort of things. So I know for me, after weight loss surgery, my libido went up. Not just my libido, but yes, it went through the roof. And I think that does tend to happen for quite a lot of people.
Also, the other extreme can be true as well.
Yes, and this is such a difficult thing, because no two people are exactly the same.
Yeah. So it's really difficult to predict how that side of things will go after weight loss surgery. My libido definitely went through the fucking roof. But I've spoken to so many people that have had the exact opposite.
Yeah. It can affect even our flexibility, stamina. And it can affect our stamina in negative ways as well, because there's a lot of people after weight loss surgery who are just exhausted, constantly exhausted, and feel weak and lethargic.
All of those things are normal, and it's especially in the first little while after surgery.
Yeah, because there's so much going on in our bodies. Our body is adjusting to a whole new digestive system and to a huge reduction in calories.
You might be in ketosis. You might smell different. And you might taste different.
Even that, ketosis, suddenly you've got stinky breath and a furry tongue, and and there are medications, and there's even lozenges you can get for the furry tongue and all that sort of stuff. But everything's sort of up in the air until you actually know.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why it's really good to give yourself some grace during that time, because things do change. And if you're worried or concerned about anything, definitely go and speak with your general practitioner.
Yeah.
Definitely get things checked out. But generally speaking, from what I've personally experienced, what we've read,
discussions we've seen.
Yeah, in the many discussions that we've seen about this particular topic, so many people can experience just heaps of different things in those early stages. So it's really important to know that, hey, if I'm just not interested and I just do not want to have sex, that's okay. That's normal in the early stages. In the early stages, you might be the complete opposite, like I was.
Yep.
Might turn into a little horny beast. That was me, definitely.
Yeah. Watch out, Steve.
Yeah.
I think, and from my perspective, like, I had weight loss surgery, and then Kim had weight loss surgery. And even after I had my tummy tuck done, everything changed again, you know. And we had to even work out new positions because, you know, what used to work just wasn't working. Yeah. So
one thing I will say that I've never particularly said online at all is that I wish prior to my breast lift and reduction, I had asked more questions, because nipple sensitivity and things was always a big part of the sexual experience for me. So if you are a person that enjoys that and you're considering having skin removal surgery, just make sure that you fully understand and are totally aware of everything that your particular surgeon is saying in terms of nipple sensitivity and things post-operatively. Because I've never regained feeling on my left side. Ever. And that really played with my mind. I've never talked about it, but it really did. It really played with my mind probably for a good 12 months afterwards. And I really had some major regrets about that. Not that I regret the fact that I got the skin reduced and lifted, because it was a functional thing as well. I had, you know, the big divots in my shoulders from just the pain and the weight of my breasts. But losing the sensitivity was a shock, a real shock.
Yeah. Well, I know just on my tummy tuck line, you know, and I'm like 7 or 8 years post tummy tuck, it's still completely numb. I have no sensitivity there. So, you know, with any skin removal, risk of desensitization in those areas, and that's still strange for me when I, you know, just getting dried or something, and you know, I can't feel whether
it, and it's like,
you know, and so now I'm back on insulin for type 2 diabetes, but you know, now I can sort of jab myself in that area and I don't feel it. So yeah,
that's a bonus.
There is a bonus there, but yeah, so that's very strange, and it's just all those little things that I think if we're not aware of it and suddenly it's happening, it can really put a dampener on the whole mood.
Absolutely.
And, you know, so I think it's just things that we need to be aware of. And, you know, if you are worried, you know, do some self-care and get used to, you know, what sort of
works for you now.
Yeah, works for you, and you know, where you like to be touched, or you know, what you want, and verbalize that to your partner. And you know, there needs to be, I feel there needs to be that sort of communication there, that if it's not working for you, say something.
Yeah, 100%. The way that we had sex, sorry guys, it's going to be too much info, but that definitely changed post weight loss surgery as I became thinner and I lost fat off of my mons pubis, my pubic area. The way that we, like, the depth of penetration was increased, and the pressure was definitely far different. So a lot of things, I felt like I became more sensitive, but I don't think it was that. I think that as I lost fat, I could just feel things differently.
Yep.
And I was very, very sort of, I don't know, shy, I guess, at the start to even say, hey, that's not really working for me now. Because when you've been together for a while, you sort of feel a bit silly saying, no, I don't like that now.
It's like, what do you mean? We've been doing it this way for the last 26 years.
Yeah. So there's definitely always room for improvement, growth, and to have those honest conversations, which is strange when you've been together for a while.
Yep.
But things can really, really change after the surgery.
Yeah. But it shouldn't be strange, should it? Really, like society is sort of pushed. You
Yeah.
can't talk about it. It's
Well,
but
I guess
we should be able to normalise it and go, well, it's
it's a normal
a
part
normal
of
person.
everyone's life. Hopefully.
So let's sort of try and normalise it as well, and it's okay.
Yeah, skin flaps around. Find some beautiful lingerie, something that makes you feel amazing, and wear that if you're worried. That's just part of life and part of sex. Your body is going to make noises. It might sound different. There's more skin to deal with, but it's certainly not the end of the earth. It's just the start of a whole new chapter.
Yeah.
And learning new things about yourself.
No, exactly. And while we're talking about Tash,
speaking of new things, but completely and totally unrelated to sex, although still yummy.
You could sprinkle it on.
You could, but we're not suggesting that, don't we?
No,
we're not. So we have a product here, and I'm not even sure how we pronounce the brand, but this is a ranch flavored seasoning. Now, I picked this up yesterday at Coles, and I'm just going to hold it up here for those that are watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, it is found in, the Coles that I go to, it was found near the salts and all the herbs and spices. And it's in a pale blue, and then a darker blue container. And I bought the ranch one, and oh my God,
it tastes amazing.
It's actually amazing. I'd never seen it there before. It may have been there for ages, but normally I just kind of run through the shops grabbing the things that.
It'd actually be incredible on vegetables.
Yeah. It's gluten-free, it's vegan.
Yeah, so it ticks all those. It's even soy-free, which for a lot of people that's important. Yeah, I would have no issue putting this on a nice bowl of veggies or
chips.
Some chips, because
wedges.
We all do that, wedges.
Roast veggies on salads, on meats. I'm going to be using it in some sauces, and someone suggested to me last night that they use it in dip.
Ooh.
Which I think would be really, really interesting as well.
Yeah, some cream cheese.
So that is my little hot tip, little recommendation, because one of the things that I've found since I've had weight loss surgery is that I like to pack as much flavour as I can.
That's so important, isn't it?
Into each bite.
Yeah.
I might not be able to have a lot of bites.
But you want it to be good.
But they're going to be good. They're going to be good bites. And this stuff, this Delicious ranch seasoning, you need to get on it. It's amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. If you do want to share your story with us, you can contact us on any of our social media accounts or on our email, which is .com. I'm sort of jealous Tasha's sitting there eating the...
I am. I'm eating the ranch dressing. Anyway, have an amazing, amazing day and stay safe out there.